All right, we're going to learn about slip casting on a plaster mold today. Here's a plaster mold of a cardinal bird. It fits together like this. You secure it with a rubber band. You want to make sure the rubber band is on tightly. If it's not, it'll make a mess. You're going to take the pre-mixed slip, which is a slip casting type of slip, which is different from our normal flexible plastic malleable clay slip that we use for hand building and wheel throwing. You're going to fill up your mold all the way to the top. And then put any extra back in the container. And now we're waiting for the plaster to absorb the water that's in that slip to create a coating on the walls of the plaster mold. You can see here that coating has already started to form. Once you wait an appropriate amount of time for the coating to become thick enough, you agitate the slip and you pour out the mold. Sometimes this is 10 minutes, sometimes it's longer. It depends on the moisture level in the mold and the humidity in the room that you're using. Turn it upside down and drain all that will come out. We're draining it back into the slip container as this can be reused. Once you've drained it, you're going to let it sit and harden. You do not want to let it harden to the point of being past leather hard. Then you're going to clean up your mess. You're going to wipe down the tool that you use to agitate the slip. You're going to clean out the pouring container. You're going to wipe down the surface. And it's going to take a bit longer with quite a bit more water and rubbing than just cleaning up regular clay because, again, these particles are finer and smaller. Do not skip the step of washing out your sponge either. Anywhere that you dripped or made a mess should be wiped, including the edges of the bucket. You can do this while you're waiting for your mold to set up. Make sure that you secure the lid when you are done using it. And wipe down the counter as well. It's a very messy process. And then, of course, wipe out your sponges. Here is the leather hard piece. It's been sitting for quite a while. If you notice that there's too much moisture on the inside, you can blow dry as well. Now I'm going to take it out of the mold by taking one side off very gently and checking to make sure that it's firm enough to take out. If not, I can blow dry it again. If it feels floppy or delicate, there's no harm in blow drying it a little bit. You just don't want your piece to get bone dry or close to bone dry inside the mold because usually it will crack based on where the clay can and can't go as it shrinks and dries. Here it is taken out of the mold, and you'll see that there's a mold line down the back and front, anywhere that there was a seam. You're going to wipe out your mold using a sponge. Do not use anything sharp to scratch it off or you will permanently damage the mold. So you're going to just use a very gentle motion with a wet, clean sponge to just get any excess clay and debris off of the mold so that the next person can use it. Any dry chunks can be reused as well. We have a special container that we're setting those ones in. Here's another mold. This part is designed to be waste. So this is the kind of part that you would put in that recycle bin. Many of the molds have a segment that's specifically just for waste for pouring so that the rest of it gets to be even. For example, on the top of this vase, that top part is designed to be cut off and this is designed to be waste. Again, using a sponge to very gently clean your mold when you're done using it is a very important step so that debris does not build up on your mold and it's in good shape for the next person to use it. So here's my leather hard cardinal piece. I'm going to use a tool with a sharp edge. It could be anything with a sharp edge to take off my mold lines and to smooth out once it's firm enough to do so. One of the ways that you can tell if something was made using a mold is sometimes there is a little evidence that there is a mold line on something. And you can also tell this with things like toys that have been cast in plastic or toys that have been made out of metal. You can see where the mold was that supported it. And once you start seeing them on toys, you always see them. But you can look in your cabinets at home and see if any of your mugs or cups or other dishes have mold lines from being slip cast, because this is the process that most industrially manufactured ceramics use to make their ware. And here I am sponging over those lines just to get a little bit of smoothness and finish the piece. Don't forget to put your name on it.